Hey again, friends. You are watching Tactical Enlightenment's new series on village defense. Indeed, just like siege defense, in this series we explore Calradia and look for some of the very best villages to use as a refuge and to make your last stand. Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but especially advanced field command and battlefield tactics. And have you guys ever been in this kind of a pinch before, where you were just minding your own business, setting some houses on fire in order to provoke the villagers to give you all their money? Well, sometimes the enemy sends a bunch of lords to attack you, and the village themselves can actually be your best refuge. We're going to show you my army here. Very strong army. Of course, you would not normally even attempt to try a 4-to-1 outnumbered situation like we're about to, unless you had a strong army. But even if you did, sometimes you still might lose. We are going to show in this series, this first of a series, towns, or rather villages, that I find that are defendable. Your host again, Sean Strickland, for the evening. We are going to do some tactics. Now, I digress. I get that so often that people say I sound like Sean Strickland. I guess I figured I might as well acknowledge it in an episode. But as you can see here, we're outnumbered actually worse than 4-to-1. But this village is a very unique village. I've had a few other battles here before, but I figured it was time to sort of bring this up specifically as a town battle and look for a really big battle here, and this certainly qualifies. Sturgia took offense to me raiding Cargrev, and so we are going to show this first in a series, probably be 6, 7, 8 episodes long. Basically refuges you can run to if you're being pursued by a large force, right? These are better than the open field, and it's not because you have like barns and huts and stuff like that. This is all beautiful, a very idyllic setting. It's because of this fishing river right next to the village. Check this out. This is an absolute tactical wet dream. There's a bridge, there's this path that comes down where the enemy is basically choked into a narrow opening, and then there's water. There's fish nets that catch the enemy up, like I think their horses will literally get stuck on these. This is an amazing tactical setup. There's opportunities for a peekaboo ridge, kill box, you name your tactic, you can basically do it here. So I'm going to look at my units in detail here, a little closer up for this episode. Anytime you're outnumbered 4, 5, 6 to 1, you really want to make sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, because if your I's are crossed and your T's are dotted, you're probably going to lose. So this is skirmisher division, but there's also shock troops in the 6th division. The 1st division is just heavy infantry, right? Very solid heavy infantry with a badass captain, right? Decrease taking melee advantage. They're going to basically act as a shield. They're going to block up that left side over there near the bridge, but I'm not really going to use them to attack much. Now this right side is where I'm going to use our attackers. Our shock troops and our skirmishers are our killing infantry. A lot of these guys are high-level companions. A lot of them are, in fact, you can see there's actually Battanian fiends mixed in with the skirmishers. So you have very strong shock troops and or ranged troops to attack the enemy at close range. Now, we don't really want to battle in the water. Guys lose their maneuverability in the water. We would like to fight right at the edge of the water here, right on the shore. The other reason is it provides cover. Do you see how their archers can't hit these guys? These guys are very protected from archers, and that's just one more major advantage of this map, right? We have an incredible, it's not a peekaboo ridge, but it's a similar kind of concept where the enemy has to come around those rocks to attack us. So 2nd Cav, we're just going to have them hold the water's edge there, and then we're going to line up 2 different archer divisions here. The 4th, which has some of our best archers, kind of up the hill here. You can see Battanian fiends mixed in with companions. Probably have 50 Battanian fiends for this battle. And then over here, I think we'll do the 5th. Now we've got to protect them. We've got to have Cav here, so I could put the horse archers. Those guys aren't going to really do a good job. We could put the 8th division though. This 8th division is elite knights, high-level companions, and that'll protect our back door. Our horse archers, I think, will just have skirmish off to the side here. It doesn't matter too much, but as you can see, there's cons guards and high-level companions in that. And then back here to protect both this 8th Corps and this backdoor area, what we can do is we can shield wall these guys a little tighter. I don't want the enemy just pouring through the back. And then we could put archers in the water here. Now they're going to move slowly in the water, but the enemy has a harder time getting to them too, right? Because they're in the water, it's very slow for the enemy to approach these guys. And of course, they'll be shooting anybody trying to approach them, right? It's a nasty setup. And now we simply await the enemy to come into our slaughter pen here, right? Now we're not going to be static. You know, am I saying that static troops are dead troops? That's not necessarily the case. What I'm referring to there is the AI. Unfortunately, the AI does not know how to attack static troops. It basically has marginal tactics at all. It's cavalry sort of try to flank you. The infantry basically charges along headlong. And then the archers will try to skirmish, but it has no ability essentially to counter this type of defense. Now I got a second here. I want to show you this. I wish I had a little bit more time to show you, but there's this really cool area. If we had to retreat, we could actually come up here. It looks like a little hunting village or something like that. This is a really cool map. All right, now we're on hold fire, so there's silence, right? The enemy's met with kind of awkward silence. It's like that date you had where you could just tell in the first 10 minutes there was no charisma, no fucking interest at all. There's just silence right now approaching the enemy, but that's because we're conserving our ammo. Up against 2,500 troops, I don't want our guys shooting 87 arrows into these handful of guys that are first in for the enemy, right? These guys present no real threat to us, and we're going to save our volleys for this big wave that's coming, right? So we open fire here, and you'll see me conserve arrows right throughout this battle. See the death spam lights up as these troops start getting hammered with archers, and of course high-level javelins are obliterating everything in sight. You can just tell from the death spam. When you see a named kill at this stage, 80% of those are javelin kills. The 3rd and 6th Corps here to my right, just like me, have 250 plus throwing skill, and these shields just get blown up as we kill everything in sight. Now this area is actually going to be compacted. I might even move these troops back at some point because there's going to be so many dead bodies, dead horses, enemy cavalry, our cavalry. This is going to be a very messy battlefield, but the enemy just killed themselves. They literally waded into the river here while we surround them. And we're just going to take our opportunity here to pound them with ammunition. I'm actually going to back our troops off here, and we will engage momentarily, right? I'm basically, let's soften them up first, and then we'll go in for the kill. Their infantry basically suicided here, but that's not surprising, right? This is pretty typical. These tactics still would work on a human opponent. You would just have to be prepared to do dynamic stuff, right? You would be prepared to adjust for the enemy flank. Now comes the assault, right? It's time to charge. The 3rd and the 6th can be brought to bear on these guys. The 8th Corps is charging. Elite Knights are charging. Now the archers are just protected, right? They're so deep and far away from the enemy that they're not getting to our archers. And occasional cavalry might, but we can protect them from cav too. And of course the screen is just packed with death spam here as Sturgia gets immolated. Now, I don't see their archers shooting, right, because they have no line of sight, right? We're around the edge here. They have a very difficult time getting line of sight on us. And frankly, if they come up for line of sight here, they're more fucked because they're going to get charged. In fact, I see a handful of the archers, and they took a few shots and they ran because they probably saw all these heavily armed infantry and knights just getting skewered left and right. They're like, you know what? Discretion is a better part of valor. We're going back up this hill here, and that actually, of course, plays to our advantage. These fucking dipshits trying to swing their pathetic spears at me. And the majority of that first vanguard, infantry and cavalry, is dead. I'm probably going to be killing horses intentionally in this battle because you see how clogged up it is. I literally can't move because there's so many fucking dead horses, knights, allied knights, enemy knights. It gets very convoluted in a battle like this. So we're not going to charge, right? We're going to pull back all this infantry of ours that's getting overzealous. We're going to pull them back. Why? Because we have the edge. The enemy attacked us. They're forced to come around this edge. I don't know why these guys aren't obeying me. Get the fuck back here. Do what your Jarl says. We're going to reset our 2nd and 1st division, our infantry divisions. Those are basically our shields. And we're going to continue to move our archers kind of around the corner here in case the enemy brings up archers to joust with us, right? We will counter... and we will basically get out of their line of sight. Look at this guy. It's perfect. He dropped his shield. He dropped his javelins. The Jarl can use some javelins. Fucking swat your horse. And then we'll take your stuff, right? Since you're dead, can I have your stuff? Pick up the shield, motherfucker. There we go. All right. So we got some more javelins. We got a shield. We're ready for the second wave here. This is, I'm playing Sean Strickland. This is the second round, right, of this fight tonight. We're headlining this fight here against the Sturgians. This is an old opponent that we beat all the time, but the fans love to watch it. And so Sean Strickland here is role-playing a little bit. We're going to do a little Bannerlord. Again, the enemy just waded right into the river. It's about as bad a strategy as you can get. Oh, here we go. They're actually coming along the shore. Good. We want some hard and heavy blows. We're going to pull a little bit more around the edge here just because the enemy's getting softened up, right? This is kiting. We're just letting our archers inflict some damage as the enemy comes in. Now, there are some troops behind us here, so we're going to have to just go to war. But with this largely undamaged 3rd and 6th Corps, I don't think this is going to be a problem. Take an axe to the face. It's all right. I got a good helm. Like Sean Strickland, we'll lose a few teeth, and we'll keep on kicking here. Now, I don't want to go in the water. You really don't want to go in the water in this map because it's the fastest way to get killed, right? You'll get smashed with infantry left and right. They still have nasty troops. This is a very strong Sturgian force, but it's wilting under the pressure of our archery fire and our high-level infantry here. Our shock troops are coming down the hill. I actually see them fighting behind me there, which is a problem because I got archers here, and I got to get these guys redirected to these archers. They did eventually get a bunch of archers brought up. Now these archers are being mauled by our archers, right? I just see the death spam. Battanian Fiend, champ killed, so-and-so. These guys are going to have a hard time getting around the corner, but I don't want to go around this corner, right? Because you're going to get shot. So I'm going to make these guys basically come to us until the infantry is here. They're taking their sweet-ass time. Get the fuck up here, 6th and 3rd Corps. Not quite sure what the fuck's taking you guys so long. But once these guys arrive, once I start seeing my companions, we're going to wade in here. There's some. Where the fuck is my 3rd Corps? They must be fighting enemies behind me. I've told them to literally follow me. Here we go. Here comes a few. We'll bring the archers closer here, and the archers can be told to charge at this stage, and what that does is it drives them towards the enemy. Right there, we'll get aggressive. All right, here we go. This is my wife, Vareg, a couple other high-level companions, and we're going to wade in and kill whatever's left here. It's kind of low-level archers. Oh, they got more troops coming around the corner. All right, let's keep kiting. We don't want to challenge all these units at once. We definitely got reinforcements. I can tell just by the size of these units. It looked like we had like 50 or 60. The question is did it put our reinforcements up at that original starting spot? If that's the case, we're going to have to go fetch them. We're going to have to basically rescue our reinforcements because the dipshit AI system is not smart enough to put our AIs where we are. I apologize there, Mr. Horse. Smash the horse in the face with an axe, and then you ask it, hey, can I ride you? But we're going to rescue our companions here. Let's see what they got going on. Yeah, they're literally all the way around the corner here. So we're going to position them up in this tight, tucked-in area, but we're going to probably have to fight to get some of these guys to join us. This is, again, it's an unfortunate part of the reinforcement system. This is obviously not really our fault, but this is one of the hazards you face when you kind of move a significant away from where you started. In other words, where you start the beginning of the battle, if you run a large distance, right, to get like elevation, or maybe you do it to get a certain location like we did here, you got to be ready for the fact that your reinforcements are going to be shipped to the wrong airport, so to speak, right? Their bags got diverted to the wrong fucking airport, and just like an angry fucking traveler, we've got to fetch these guys from enemies that are trying to pound them as they join our main army. Look at these guys being zerged. Whatever losses we have in this battle, this will probably be a third of them. Just the fact that it fucked us on the reinforcements, and we've got to come, like, physically fetch these guys to bring them to the army. Nevertheless, we'll persevere. We're used to this bullshit. We got an archer division up here. The 4th and the 5th, I think I'll just keep down at the water level for now. It might bring them a little bit closer if the enemy's really charging hard here. And let's just put these guys in a square. That'll help them protect themselves on the way down towards where we want them. Again, the enemy's coming around these corners, and they're just getting shot with 100 arrows, right? It's instant line of sight for our archers, and of course their archers aren't going to be able to do shit. We can assist our square here, sort of break some of these enemies free from it. And now we can simply shift the square back and forth. Let's hold these archers. I don't want them falling back too far. We want them actually standing still to start shooting up here. And now we can just shift this square back and forth like a lever, and it's just a killing machine. Who are they chasing after a companion? Are you guys leaving the party already? Bunch of fucking party poopers they are. Enemies are fleeing. You have won the battle. Man, they deprive us of this last wave. Now it looks like they want to fight. I can't tell. Now they're charging. Okay, good. We wanted some more combat. I just had to whine like a bitch before the enemy engaged here. And now we can slay the rest of these guys. So they're attacking our infantry square. This is not going to go well for them. And of course, our archers just have free reign, basically protected. The only ones that are slightly vulnerable are the ones up here. Oh, they had already come down. I must have had them sent down lower. Anyways, so you see just how destructive this map is. This battle is already over, and I would imagine that we have half of our forces left. What do we start with? 600-ish? I would bet we have 300 casualties or less. And a good portion of those happen just because of that reinforcement system. It's kind of unavoidable. These guys are charging again, I swear. All right, well, we'll kite again. This is a really strange end to this battle. Usually, when the enemy flees, they don't just start, like, chasing after you repeatedly. These are like those clips where the boxer is knocked out, or he goes down to one knee, and then as soon as the referee turns the fucking other direction, he sucker punches the boxer and fucking, yeah, I win. Right, the enemy's trying to pull some fast ones on us here. It can't win with normal manner, in the normal manner, so it's going to do a little bit of cheating here. Learn from the American political system. All right. So we're resetting here. We are getting some deaths at the end of this, at these fucking dipshit sturgeons who put up the white flag are now fucking disgracefully, despicably attacking us after they fucking asked for mercy. We're going to execute every single sturgeon after this battle. We will definitely Vlad the Impaler, stick these guys on a fucking spike, pound them into it, and then leave them there to rot. We're going to teach these motherfuckers the rules of war, and when you flee and ask for mercy, and then you attack, then you get smashed with the fucking pole arm. No mercy for these sturgeons. 177 archers, but they do look like they're fleeing. The number below is getting larger. That means they're running for the exits. Now I'm not so sure. Right now I don't trust the enemy here. We're going to ride down every single last fucking threat on this battlefield here. I'm just gonna run over this archer ignobly. Here, have a little bit of dirt there, buddy. Get your dick in the dirt. It does look like the enemy has fled. Yeah, that guy's out of here too. These guys have all fled, and this battle is complete. All right, so for this series, we are going to be exploring, and I'll do my best to try to find at least one little village in each realm. You know, the Northern Empire, the Southern Empire, the Khazate, with the idea being that if you're in a bad way in a campaign, or you're being chased, I recognize you're not going to run across the whole map just to defend at a village. But if you're having a lot of battle near like a city or a village like this, Kharkiv, and you're attacked in the open field in an almost unwinnable situation, just run to this village. Look at this shit. We had 230 losses, and probably a third of those again were that reinforcement bullshit. And we mangled this force of sturgeons, right? 1,700 killed and injured, and the rest fled like bitches because they saw that attacking us was futile. I try to show you guys kind of what happened during the battle towards the end here. But what happened, of course, you saw. We destroyed the enemy here. There's just so many different tactical advantages of this map. I think even if you're not using 8 divisions, even if you don't have elite troops, you can probably still dominate on this map. In fact, that's what we're going to do for this series. Right after I show you a battle in my campaign where we maul the enemy with our advanced top high-end army, what I think we'll do is we will do a custom battle here. Assuming I can find the custom battle menu has these villages in it. Directly following this in each of the videos, we'll have a custom battle where we're badly outnumbered and we're using normal troops and no high-level commanders, right? So it's basically fair. All right, I've spared you some of the gruesome details, but we are ready here to fight at Scala. By the way, there are sister villages. Scala is the same setup as Calradia. Basically, it looks identical. And what I've done here is I've selected all the units except the recruits, right? We don't want recruits in this battle. Everybody has access to all the high-end troops, all the middle-tier troops. But you see we're outnumbered 50%. So now we're going to do this, essentially the same battle that we just did, only using the custom battle menu and being outnumbered by 50%. Now, you shouldn't win this battle, right? This should be an absolute massacre. But using this same nasty path, this same narrow channel, I think even outnumbered 50% with very mediocre troops here, I think we should still be able to put a whipping on the enemy. Now you notice I've changed kingdoms here. Of course, I had to change, well, I don't have to change kingdoms, but I didn't want to do Sturgia again. We have the Aserai. So I'm going to set this up a little bit differently than last battle, but a lot is going to be the same concepts. The 8th will have being horse archers with some elite cav with them. Of course, with the Aserai, you get their Jav cav. The 4th and 5th, as before, will be archer tranches. I like to have at least 2 archer tranches. The 3rd's going to be shock troops, right? And how you get that with this kind of a menu is you click that button there, and then you make sure your other infantry divisions set preference to shield, right? Then you'll get a lot more of those murderers in that 3rd division. Now this shield and spear, I want the 1st division here to be the weakest division. Of course, in this battle, we've got scrubs. The next thing I'll do is I'll get down to the ground level here and make sure that I have two-handed guys in this group, right? You want to make sure your units are actually what you think they are, because if you think there's something else and you give them an assignment they can't handle, they'll get butchered. So the 1st is weak infantry, the 6th is high-level infantry and mostly javelins, so these are skirmishers. And again, we're going to use these guys on this right flank and attack the enemy around this blind. Just like that last battle, we're going to focus on this area here. And as the enemy comes around, they get shock troops, they get skirmishers, and they get obliterated, right? It's basically a recipe for destruction. So skirmishers in front because they have the shields and a little better survivability, right? With the shields, they're going to be a little bit higher chance to survive. And then behind them are these nasty two-handed shock troop motherfuckers. Shield and shock strategy, right? Classic stuff. Over here on the right, we're going to put basically a weak cav division. Unlike that last battle, of course, where I have mostly strong units, we have some ghetto cav in this battle. There's some like tier 2 guys in there, but I'm hoping that's enough body parts to slow down that side. Then again, the archers, big, long, spreading tranches to protect both that right side, that hilltop, right? It's essentially a peekaboo ridge. The enemy comes in there and they get slaughtered. They get penned up by our cav. And then the other archer division, perfect. They're halfway up the hill. These guys get elevational advantages. They can shoot down on the enemy. And obviously, the enemy has to cross the river to get to them. Just like before, and again, this is probably very deja vu. The 1st infantry clogging up that spot on the left. The 2nd cav holding the water line here. It's giving me fucking fits trying to lay it out. I'm not quite certain what's wrong with it. But I want these guys basically at the edge of the lake, or at the edge of the river here, throwing javelins, and then essentially providing a barrier for enemy heavy cav just rushing into our archers, right? I want something slowing down. God, it's really giving me a hard time. I want something slowing down the enemy cav. All right, good enough, right? We've got a nice big thick wall of heavy cav there with javelins protecting our archers, an infantry division there guarding the bridge, and then this 8th Corps, I think we'll just send these guys to the other side of the map. And what we'll do with them is essentially as the enemy gets close, we'll have them just attack. That way they're sort of autonomous. They can be part of the destruction in here. Alright, so I'm part of the, let's see, I was captain of the 8th Division, that's why it put me over there. I fucking hate riding camels. They can't jump, they don't do damage, there's no fucking advantage to the fact that they don't need to drink for 6 weeks. I basically think, actually I don't know what to make of it. It's basically I guess they're trying to make it historically accurate, but what, at the expense of you know, weakening the mercenaries? They get to use camels. Does anybody know if there's an advantage to camels? Because all I see is a fucking slow ass, stupid looking horse that can't jump, and I don't know, it just seems like a worthless fucking mount. But anyways, we're gonna fight this battle. Now I'm done complaining like a bitch. We're gonna fight this battle on camel. Hopefully we don't get killed, but of course if we do get killed, we have the RTS mod. Just like before, we're on hold fire here, right? We're not going to fire 1,000 arrows at the 20 guys that come down first. But this is going to look pretty similar. Now, there won't be quite the immolation of the enemy because we don't have guys with 250 throwing and titanium fiend champs and shit like that. But even this force that outnumbers us 2-to-1 here, I don't think has much chance. I'd be surprised if we lost this battle. All right. Now there's a big thick mass of the enemies. This is where you open fire, right? You want your archers shooting 3 different angles. The skirmishers are fucking hitting them on the flank. And look at, even though it's just lower level archers and whatnot, look at the enemies just absolutely wilting under this assault. Moving skirmishers a little closer here. I want these guys throwing their javelins. And the enemy is absolutely in a death trap right there. They come around the corner and they are fucking skewered. God, this guy's so slow on his camel. That guy had no chance. It's going by himself. So it's a little messy. The enemy cav is kind of running through here, but the key is happening. The enemy's infantry is falling right for the trap. We're going to move our skirmishers towards them a little bit so they can throw javelins into their backs. And now we're dragging the 3rd infantry. Right, this 3rd infantry division, I want this attacking the enemy on this side, right? In this case, I don't mind if they fight in the water because there's not going to be 3 or 4 waves to this battle, right? There's going to be 1. The archers are over there just wailing away, and the 3rd and 6th Corps here now slams into the enemy with the 2nd Corps on the other side. Ironically, it's like a reverse hammer and anvil, right? We had infantry smashing the enemy up against cav. Now, it's not a massacre, right? There's some death spam. We're losing some troops, partly because we have these absolutely ghetto, these guys here. It's like tier 2 cav and whatnot. Those guys are going to get mauled. But that was their job, right? There are meat shields there. We're going to start pulling our archers back here. And that's simply because I don't want their archers mauling our archers. At some point or other, we'll deal with their archers. But right now, of course, we're focused on all of their cavalry, their horse archers, and, of course, that heavy infantry division they sent in. Now, I want to start protecting our 3rd and 6th division here. So the 6th is in a shield wall, just holding the line, and we're going to get the 3rd reset and tuck it into the rocks here. See how I got a cav division over there just holding the line so the enemy can't just run over our archers. We have 2 different archer corps over there that are still firing away. Back is protected here. There's a handful of guys here. And what I'm actually going to do is shove this 3rd Corps up into this little nook. Put the 6th in front of them, and the reason is because the enemy has a fuckload of horse archers over there, and they're starting to draw a bead on us, right? They're starting to shoot at us. In fact, like if I could, if these were human players, I'd say pack in as tightly as you can right there, fellas. Get out of line of sight. Hide behind a shield if you need to. And we just have to weather the storm here, right? These 141 horse archers, we need to whittle them down with archers. Of course, they're penned up pretty bad against the wall, so it won't take long for us to be able to weaken them badly. There's a few cav here haplessly trying to get to us, but they have no chance. And I'm just standing here trying to block some of these arrows coming in towards our 3rd Corps. When you have shock troops, you got to protect them, right? That's one of the fundamental keys to a good battlefielder. A battlefield commander, yeah, that word too. I'm going to have our archers now charged. And the reason I'm doing that is any archers that don't have line of sight, I don't want them standing there with the enemy pounding us with arrows. I want our guys kind of moving in aggressively. The 2nd cav can be told to charge, but this wave is starting to melt. Oh shit, they're sending archers in here right in front of us. You're dead men. The 6th is told to move up. The 3rd will be right behind him. Let's get a cav corps to charge these guys as well. These archers just suicided. Our infantry is just told to kill. Our 3rd Corps will be right behind these guys. In fact, we'll tell them to go past the archers here, and we're going to wade in. See if I get shot off my horse. The third corps is now waiting in on archers. These guys are very happy. They got their fucking giant executioner axes. We're gonna wait in here as well with them. And the enemy here is absolutely fucking skewered. You see what I was talking about, though. The enemy had to come around that corner. Yeah, this guy gets owned. He's garbage. The enemy had to come around that corner to attack with their archers, and we're just waiting there. It's like a Halloween prank, only they're not scared and, you know, they don't laugh afterwards. They get beheaded and fucking disemboweled. I think this battle is over. Did I miss a message that said the battle's over? Either way, though, I can tell you empirically this battle is over, right? We have a clear power bar advantage, and we've basically destroyed every single attempt of the enemy to attack us. Can't tell what's going on. There's like one guy up the hill here. Can't get on a horse. So as they chase this guy down, I'm just going to take a peek here. Yeah, this battle's clearly over. I'm just going to explain this series, right? This series, again, if you're out there roaming the world of Calradia, it's very dangerous. There's fucking looters and shit like that. There's insolent enemy fucks that are trying to attack you. And this is a big advantage, to be able to have towns, I guess villages, that you know of that are highly defensible, right? There are a lot of villages that are absolute dog shit for defending. They're wide open, they're clogged with houses and trees and whatnot. And almost every battle in heavy, dense trees is going to be a disadvantage for you because the AI sees perfectly through the trees, but you don't. What is this guy here? There's one guy guarding this hut. Is this your fucking home there, dude? I'm coming for you. I've got a hammer for your ass, fucking asshole. Oh, even better, I've got a palace guard for you. All right. Well, this wraps this episode up. We're going to have more of these. If you want to see me defend a particular town, just like the Siege series, let me know. We're going to look for some cool towns. It's really fun to explore the towns in Bannerlord. There's a lot of really beautiful towns. I'm actually going to use the fly around mode here to figure out who the fuck they're chasing. My guys are chasing somebody way up into that hunter's camp. But we're going to have fun with this series. We're going to do a little village defending, I guess you could call it. For some of these episodes, we'll take advantage of this. Look at how savage this would be to defend, right? The enemy's got to come up over this peekaboo ridge, and you've got this pocket to defend, right? These cons guards flee like bitches because the enemy is fleeing. The enemy is fleeing. You are victorious. All right, friends. Like I said, Sean Strickland signing off here. I better not say that in case he sues me. Of course, the channel's not monetized, so I don't know how he would sue me. But there you have it. 133 survivors, and we killed 600. Killed or fled 600 troops. Right. That counts as a highly successful. I forgot we were outnumbered by 50%. So outnumbered by 50% here, and we absolutely massacred the enemy. The master archers did good work. This is the epitome of success. Let me know what you think, fellas. Please subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. Please comment and hit that like button, fellas. And I will talk to you guys next time.